welcome to my channel once again. Today I just want us to talk about education in Africa, and the question is very simple. Was there really education in Africa before the coming of the Europeans or the white people? Talking about education itself talks about impacting knowledge and somebody learning. Where our ancestors actually, were they learning something? Or were they really educated? That is a question here. And it's very simple. In my previous video, I spoke about Pharaonic Egypt, where these people have done a lot in terms of contribution to civilization. And they learned it from one place to the other, from a father to a mother, from a child, just like in Africa here. We learned, that's why I spoke about the herbalists, who were using herbs in curing people. And how did they learn it? They learned it from their fathers, who learned it from their grandfather. That is how it is. So indeed, there was education in Africa. Now coming to talk about formal education, probably where people had to go to school. There are classrooms, people had to go to school. That is formal education. And let's come to Ghana in particular. Well, formal education started, that's what we call the castle schools. Now they started when the white people actually had an affair with our beautiful mothers, and they gave birth to the mulatto children, the Negroes. Now the children were called the mulatto children. They actually didn't want the children. Maybe they assumed were not able to read, were not able to write, and were not able to do little mathematics, which sometimes I find it erroneous, because even if you go to the market today and you buy something from our mothers, before you use your calculator to press 1, 2, they will do this and they will tell you. But that was what they assumed. So they decided that these mulatto children should be kept in the castle schools and they should be taught the 3 R's: read, write, arithmetic. That's how formal education they started. Now the question I ask ourselves today is that education still relevant in Africa? Because all what we know is that education is sought to help address our immediate challenges. No wonder people now say that when they were growing up, they used to say that the key to success is education. But some now says that it's like the padlock has been changed. So even when you bring your education, the key is not opening the padlock. That is just how some people feel. Meaning our African education should rather be addressing our African challenges. Sometimes what we learn, sometimes we describe this kind of education as some sort of colonial education, where our sentence is just, we are still teaching people how to read, how to write, how to add, which is bookish. At least African education should have been addressing how to make good use of our natural resources. Look, we have cocoa, we have timber, we have shea nut, which is used for shea butter, which is so good for our skin and then for consumption. Yet our education talks about something that doesn't even concern us. So we are saying that when we want to talk about education in Africa, actually we had education because we had people who learned, and there were local industries in Africa. I just mentioned shea butter, which were processed to shea nuts, which was processed to shea butter. And then it was these local women who were doing it. We have our local basket industry. People were weaving. We have our clay pots, which were used to make water, and then water pot to store water, and then we have some were used as bowls. We eat from them. So all these people learned from some people, and that was education. And we can also talk about our local midwives. Women are there, they were not from any college of training, health training, but they were able to learn from their mothers, grandmothers, and what have you. And they were able to guide women to deliver, which at some parts of Africa, we consider people who are born in the house to be much more stronger than those who have been sent to the hospitals and what have you. But all this were education we learned it from, and so forth and so on. So when we talk of education, whether education was in Africa or not, I would say that we had education in Africa before the coming of the Europeans. And I am also trying to say that the education in Africa should be channeled on making good use of our resources. We should teach people how to come out and depend on themselves. At least people will say, teach me how to fish, don't give me fish. But it's like our system of education is teaching people to come out and we give them fish. Our government sectors and what have you have been choked. We need to have an education that can help people to develop our natural resources. That can help so that we'll not have something we call like Unemployment Graduates Association, where people will come out from school and there's nothing to do. Our education should target our local industry, and we should stop talking about things that are not even located in Africa. Indeed, African education, our forefathers by then taught us how to farm. They taught us how to build a ship. They taught us how to roof houses. They taught us, and then we're living in our beautiful round houses. So it will be erroneous and very wrong if somebody assumes that there wasn't education in Africa. Education is just about giving knowledge to people, and it has been there since time immemorial. And even today, if we talk about our local herbalists, they have been given licenses in most hospitals to operate the health sector because they felt that they are doing something which was very important. The only challenge we had is that we were not able to write it down. That's what we call the prehistoric era, the era before man became literate and made available written documents. But we had enough education as at then, and then they knew how to do things and whatever. So all what I'm saying is that indeed education existed in Africa, and the current education we are practicing in Africa needs to be looked into so that our education will meet our immediate needs. It shouldn't just be an education we'll go and sit in classroom, come out, and then you speak big English, yet you cannot add anything. Assuming somebody being an engineer, yet he cannot fix common bulb in his room. Those are not the kind of education we are looking at. Our education should be more practical than the theoretical aspect of it. So indeed, I'll conclude this video by saying that Africa indeed had education before the coming of Europeans. We had several things I have just taken up. Thank you very much for watching this video.